so it's making the rattle. Oh, that rear end is ugly. Well, I got the exhaust tips mocked in place. They are not clamped yet. The only thing is, I think they're just a tad too long. But they do make a 10-inch version. I might go and get those. These are the 14s. I mean, I guess it's not awful, but I don't like them sticking out that far past the roll pan. If only I had just a little more run room. I'm gonna say, I am very tickled with how it looks. It's looking really, really good. I'm not trying to be like this major blackout or nothing, but like, it is a respectable look. I like it. Now let's have a first start with it with the tips on. I tried sprucing up the old 5.3 a little bit too. Sprayed some engine gunk cleaner, gave it a very light pressure wash, and I did the plastics and POR and Adams VRT. I gotta try to get this salvage yard writing off. Rubbing alcohol didn't work. Oh yeah. Oh, she's good, boys. Let's get this sucker turned around. We're gonna work on that paint. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ugh. Now it's time to put this back together. I have sprayed rust reformer, whatever the green can of Rustoleum is, all over, and took the wire wheel to everything I could. Could have done a little better in some spots, but the truck no longer has rusticles. I've pulled the shocks off, wheels off, obviously, wrapped up the tips. She looking good-ish. So that makes me feel a lot better of having the frame cleaned up a little bit, and I use Rustoleum Flat enamel to coat it because I don't like shine on frames, and it should be matte black all the time. And time to put it back together. Well, I would definitely say that is a nice success. Now, I'm pretty much going to be doing the rest of it in phases. So, I'm gonna do the center of the truck. The back half is already all good and done. I'm gonna do the center frame area and work my way up to eventually the front frame area, which is going to have a lot more involved. Cross members and such. Lots of masking. So pretty much I will just get on with, there's some masking from last time. Get on with cleaning up the frame a little bit and make it shine. Take a few years off of it, make it look a little more pleasant. I also have been trying the 3M eraser wheel on the pinstripe. And I really fear that this one's painted, so I may be stuck. However, I did do something. Okay, we'll fast forward a little bit later. So I ended up getting the whole frame done on the truck, the 04. So down on this end, I know that cab corner is getting nasty in that rocker. So down here, I already did up to this midsection, and then I finished off. I did it in like 3 phases. I did the back axle half, then I did the midsection, and then I did the whole front end. But I'm very pleased with how it came out. I also ended up spraying some on the rotors just to clean them up. Plus, I always wanted black rotors. I did a little something fun here, if you can tell by the masking tape. We'll see what that is in a sec. So I took a wire wheel and I got down as far as I could. So like on the back half, it looks really good, but in here where I didn't take like the control arm shock and the brake line out, I mean, there's some buildup from the old material that was on there. But like, this looks really good. I actually even found a serial number there. But I'm very pleased with how that came out. This is already a month old, and I don't know how I feel about it just yet. I have discovered that that little plug there is probably leaking, so I will have to attend to that. Other than that, not bad for 210,000 miles, huh? Back in 2018, I thought I was going to try to sell that truck and dress it up quick to sell. So I went underneath it with a little bit of stuffing, and I used this Rustoleum undercoat. And it's not like the results were bad, but they didn't last because of my lack of a full proper prep job, you know? I barely took much off, and I dressed it because I thought I was going to sell it. And that turns out that that was never the case. So now I'm repairing, basically redoing it more correctly. So this time around, I scuffed down with wire wheels and got down to bare metal where I could. I used this Rustoleum rust reformer. I like how it lays out. It's pretty good, and hopefully in the long run it holds up good as a good base. What I had used, but what I did with the back and the midsection of the frame, I used this flat black protective enamel, Rustoleum. So that worked out okay, but the thing of it is, like, I'm not really wowed by the results. So right here we have Rustoleum Flat protective enamel. I mean, it looks good. I should have prepped a little bit better. Like, you can see a little bit of rust here. I probably should have took the load off of the leaf spring because I lifted up by the body. And here, for an example, you know, I can dress it up quick and like clean it up, but the fact of the matter is, like, with the load on it like that, maybe that's default. And back down this way, I probably could have done a little bit better of a job getting down to like bare metal and such. I mean, I'm really limited on my supplies and stuff, but I got wire wheels for drills and whatnot. But this looks pretty good, except for when you get to the rocker, it needs replaced. Pretty happy with the results. You know, I got rid of the bad rust that was all surface on the frame. Now, I painted the cross member a certain color, which we'll find out here shortly, and I really liked how the I used a Krylon brand, and I liked how the Krylon had the this kind of a fan sprayer on it. It shoots. It freaking shoots really good. So I was in Lowe's looking at some other products, and I was like, I wonder if Krylon has a good product for this. And they have this flat black high heat kind of spray. So I went with that, and I used that on the more frontal half of the truck, and these are the results. So it kind of has like a satin sheen to it, which I'm really pleased with. It actually looks a lot better than the back half, so this is kind of like a nice project guinea for like the diesel, because the diesel really needs some frame attention. But like, I took this down to bare metal, so I got a really nice finish on it. I didn't get like the shock, brake lines, control arm out, so you can kind of see like the existing coverage that was there already. And I'm going to be taking the front bumper off and doing something here, so I'm going to attend to that when the time is correct for that. I also did the rotor hats just to clean them up a little bit, you know, so it looks a little bit better. I'm going to take some paint thinner to my Zerks, clean those off so you don't get in the joints. But this high heat enamel, so far I'm really impressed with it. The way it laid out and the way it's dried and adhered, looks good, very good. So I kind of like blended it right in this section here. You can see the flat black, already dirty though. Torsion bar, there's flat right here. And I blended the new stuff here. So I'm probably gonna go back and touch up some of this with this high heat Krylon. But I really like the sheen that it put off. I didn't want it like super glossy, like I'm trying too hard. And then in the low light settings, like I got down to bare metal on that area too. But like up in here, you know, there's still some old undercoat. But, you know, I wasn't trying to like tear it all apart. But I really like that product. So I'm gonna unmask the shocks, tie rods, and brake lines here momentarily. I also did another thing because the bolts holding these fender flares on were a little crusty and rusty. So I tore these off just to clean the bolts up. That kind of sucks. Negative 18 offset. Oh, that looks really good to me. I like that. This set I got kind of lucky with. There is paint chippage over here, which I want to repair anyway, but I don't know. It's like this truck may as well just get bed sides. Like I thought about arching it, but I don't know. It's really not that rusty, but I know like when you arch, you increase the chances of warping metal for one and making it a real pain in the butt. And then there's exposed weld underneath unless you get it all coated up. And you know, it's really a pain in the butt to do with arching. But I really like how it is without the flares. I really want to run it without the flares. And the front fender suffered a little bit of paint rub too, but I've been doing a little bit of paint work lately. That doesn't seem like it'd be too bad to take care of. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to wet sand that line and the old door molding trim here that's still a little bit present. Montage for the unmasking now. Alright folks, there we have it. Demasked. Wow, that really sucked taking all that off. I left my kryptonite tie rods marked up a little bit, but you know, I wanted to mask them. Of course, I wanted to mask the shocks and the Russell braided lines. But it all looks good. So this was rusty up here, so I ended up leaving it exposed and I taped it off here so I could paint it. It does look a lot nicer. Down here is how it is, straight from Russell. I don't know, mine just, that looked really rusty and I wanted to fix it up. Well, I have to get my wheel bearing center back in place here, though. I have the wiring tucked off up here. Then I'll get it seated back in there. Other than that looks really nice. I'm very happy with it. Need to get sway bar in links here soon. But I really am pleased with how that cross member came out. So this is an old rough country lift, like 2010 era, back when it was RCX. Now it's just RC, rough country. But I'm very pleased with how that came out. Still got a demasked side over here. I'm also missing a CV axle, if y'all noticed. Kind of broke on me. But yeah, I'm very happy with how that came out. I think from afar, it'll be a nice subtle little standout piece. And it's pretty clean looking. there we have it. She's looking good. Hope everybody enjoyed this upload. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks.